Hey guys, I'm Milton back at with another video, and today we're talking about it's just a UFC Yap Fest. We're talking about the most recent cards that have been announced and all that. Just gonna be yapping today. We're gonna be talking about the main cards and just the excitement over it, and a little bit of a rant because man, I am disappointed at some cards. So let's just get straight into it. And the first one obviously is a banger. UFC 324 Gaethje versus Pimlet. I've some people have been hating on this main event, and I'm like, dude. Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett will be a good fight. Come on now, it just will be. And Pimblett, people hate on Pimblett because they say he fights nobodies. He fights like yeah, all that. But like, I want to talk about just the Michael Chandler fight. Even though Michael Chandler's 38 and Pimblett absolutely destroyed him. We showed how his striking's gotten better, and then his jiu-jitsu is pretty good. And I just feel like Pimlet is a very capable fighter for the belt. Like I'm the type Pimlet should have been one away. I don't think he should be rushed to a title shot. They don't do a Darren Till and rush him, and that's how you like absolutely ruin a prospect. That's how you absolutely ruin. But Pimlet, this is very good for Pimlet. He gets to fight for Justin Gaethje. This is what I've been wanting for Patty's next fight was Gaethje. I mean, is it for interim belt? Yeah, but like Ilya's gone right now. It should have been Patty versus Armin more. I wish that would have been the fight, but instead we have Gaethje, which Gaethje's way more undeserving than Patty. If you're gonna say Patty's undeserving, Gaethje's way more undeserving. The guy has only beaten Rafael Fiziev. Come on, and Fiziev's good and all, but like, come on, he ain't that good. Like, and got slammed out by Max. At UFC 300, in the infamous freaking stand and bang, Oh, it just fall out of my hand. But Pimlet, man, Pimlet has looked very good, especially his last fight with Michael Chandler, absolutely destroyed. And if you say Chandler's washed and old, man, Charles Oliveira went 5 rounds with Michael Chandler and almost got finished. Even though Charles did dominate all 4 rounds, almost got finished in the fifth. So like, come on. And Pimlet destroyed him in the third. And like Chandler never had his moments throughout the fight. He had one good punch really, then Pimlet adjusted pretty well, and Pimlet just destroyed him. Then Gaethje's coming off a win over Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev Fiziev's a very talented and good fighter. Fiziev hasn't really fought anyone. His fights with Gaethje has always been kind of close, and that's like Gaethje's only last wins. I mean, he was supposed to fight Dan Hooker. It wasn't his fault, but Dan had pulled out due to the injury. But man, like it should have been Patty versus Armin. Now, I'll talk about Armin for a little bit and how I feel about Armin. Armin hasn't fought in 18 months. I see why he's not fighting for the belt. It is understandable. The guy pulled out last minute. I understand he's the number one ranked contender, but he had 18 months to fight, and he was waiting for another title shot after. I'm sorry, you pulled out the biggest fight of your life, and you just think you deserve another title shot? Like, are you crazy? Yeah, he did beat Dan Hooker, but like, it was just a little too late for that because he was so inactive. You got to be active as a fighter. That's the whole point. And has Pimlet been active? No, he hasn't. It has not always been very inactive, but recently he's been a little bit inactive. But he's still fighting way more than Armin Sarukian. And Pimlet just does what the company wants. Like, you gotta understand, Dana does run it. I'm not the person who runs it, so it's a Dana White decision. I do believe Armin. It should have been Armin versus Patty though. That should have been the interim belt. But now we have Gaethje versus Pimlet. But I'm fine with it. Y'all should know who I'm gonna be taking. It's Patty Pimlet. Like this is like I admit I'm a Pimlet fan. Pimlet's fun to watch. I believe Pimlet's a very talented fighter. I think a lot of people hate on him because he hasn't fought anyone. You look at his wins, the way he wins, especially his last two. I mean, the Jared Gordon fight is so controversial, but like Bobby Green decides to shoot a takedown. Pimlet gets him an arm triangle, and an arm bar as well, and puts him out freaking cold. Then destroys Michael Chandler. Like Pimlet is a very good fighter. He just is, and I hope he just shows everyone how good of a fighter he is. Then for the co-main, Kayla Harris versus Amanda Nunez. Kayla is a very entertaining fighter for women's MMA. This is a this be probably the most talented co-main event for a women's fight ever. Um, what am I saying? That's a terrible take. I'm sorry, but this is a good women's co-main event. Honestly, Kayla Harris, a very entertaining fighter. I think she has very fun jiu-jitsu, and Amanda Nunes is like the goat of women's MMA. Like, come on, this is gonna be. I'll tell you, this is a good co-main event. This is a very good co-main. I was happy this is not the main event though, bro. Swear to God, if this was the main event, this would be me ranting right now. But it's not. Instead, we got Pimlet versus Gaethje, which is good. I'm fine with that. And then Sean O'Malley versus Sangadon. Sean O'Malley obviously losing the last couple fights, losing two straight to freaking Marab. Then Song Yadong, who's been constantly just a good fighter. Like you see Song, he's very just a good striker. He can finish a fight pretty well. Bit of a blockhead. Beating the Henry Cejudo, Wash Cejudo. I like Song. He's a very talented fighter. But he's going against the Sugar Show. And the Sugar Show, man, he's good. Sean O'Malley, I still think is very talented. I still think Sean O'Malley is very good. We just haven't really seen as much of Sean O'Malley because we haven't seen him fight the contenders. You know, people will say Peter Yan beat Sean O'Malley. I'm the type where like it's a close fight. Close fights are close fights. They go either way. It was a very close fight. Sean did do a lot of damage. He did more damage. That is a fact. But I won't get into that. I think Sean's a he's the best striker. Outside of Peter Yan, I'd say he's probably the best striker and just has insane power for a bantamweight. And like I said, Song's kind of a block. He's going to take a couple hits, but I think he's going to be taking too much damage throughout this fight by Sean. And I think Sean will bounce back. But we see. This one I won't give my prediction, but I'm just going to talk. Waldo Costa versus Derek Lewis. Just a fun fight. I'm a big fan of Waldo recently because of what he's been doing. Super active, man. I love when fighters are very active. I would praise fighters who are active because we always like seeing fighters be active. We don't like to see fighters take 2 years, 1 year off. Hamzat. But Waldo's been very active recently. And he fought in August, lost against Sergey, comes back with a huge knockout, got poked in the eye. Then 2 days notice, 2 days notice, 1 day's notice, he went to Qatar and knocked out another blob. Like, come on, this guy's fun to watch. He's doing it in style. Like, I gotta praise Waldo here, but it's Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis has nukes on his hands. He's coming off a pretty big win over Tyson Shera, who people were taking Tyson Shera. Like, come on now, have faith in Derek Lewis. Even though he's young, he's 40, but this is gonna be a very fun fight and honestly interesting because I don't know. You can't count Derek Lewis out of a fight just because of his power. That's why I'm not gonna count him out. But oh, my dogs are barking. But while they bark, okay, done. Next fight: Arnon Allen versus John Silva. This is again a banger of a fight. Arnon Allen's coming off a huge layoff, hasn't fought in over a year, and John Silva just got knocked out by Diego Lopez. And Arnold Allen is a very talented fighter. I'm a big Arnold Allen fan. Why did he just cook away? Okay, yeah, Arnold Allen is just very talented. His last fight, obviously, he came coming off a win, but a huge layoff. Um, John Silva looked good, even though he got knocked out. He was doing good in the second round. He got destroyed in the first, but looked good in the second, doing good damage. But he was just spamming the same move over and over. He goes in 1-2 spinning elbow. He constantly tried to get that spinning elbow in, and that's how he got knocked out. We see how he's able to come back after that. But Arnold Allen is a very talented fighter, and this is like he's a dog man for a reason. This is a very close fight, I will say. People won't say it. This is a very like people who know ball will tell you this is a very close fight. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, and I can't. This is not on the main card for some reason. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueiredo. Both are coming off big some wins. Davison is coming off a split decision, a controversy. I thought Davison Figueiredo won, so I was fine with it. Then Umar was coming off a pretty good win over Mario Bautista. It wasn't the way I thought he would win though. He had moments where he struggled. He got chinned by, got almost chinned by Mario Bautista, but with a knee. It's just like with Umar, he's just so inconsistent. Like I don't know if how good Umar is because we just haven't seen enough from Umar. Then Davis Figurator is a bit of a unk. He not a bit of he is unk and a little and he is a little washed. I'm not saying he's like fully washed, but like he's not the same. Figgy's not the same. He's not the same Figgy we saw win the belt. He beat freaking Brandon Moreno. He's not the same Figgy. But it's a very interesting fight because we just haven't seen Umar fight in the both grapplers, so it's gonna be very entertaining. Not entertaining, but very grapply heavy fight. I think. Um, we see what else we got. Charles Johnson, man, what a legend, bro, knocking out my favorite freaking prospects. All right, let's get into UFC 325. UFC 325. I said I only want to talk about the main card. UFC 325. Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez 2, the rematch that a lot of people did not want. I thought it should have been Lerone, should have been Volkanovski versus Lerone, because Volk's getting up there in age. I want to see him fight more fighters, different fighters. I don't want to see a rematch with Diego Lopez. I mean, is Diego Lopez very good? Absolutely. He just knocked out John Silva, and I think John Silva is like has potential to be a top five fighter, a title challenger. That's how good I think he is. And Diego Lopez knocked him out in the second round, which was extremely impressive. Hitting him with the same move that John Silva was using, which is insane. But like I don't know, man. It's kind of just disappointing they doing this as I'm happy Volk says he's not going to be retiring after this one because I want to see Volk fight more. But yeah, Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez, man. It's going to be a good fight even though Volkanovski did an extremely good job beating Diego Lopez last time through and throughout. It was people thought it was a close fight. No, Volkanovski convincingly won that fight. Diego had his moments. Volkanovski won that fight convincingly. Then let's get I'm sorry, I just blanked there. Like Volkanovski just the whole time just outstruck Diego, getting into his spots. Like Volkanovski, man, who doesn't? The featherweight, he's the featherweight goat for a reason, man. I don't care what you guys say. He's the featherweight goat, man. The featherweight goat. Let's get into co-main. The co-main, Dan Hooker versus Benoit. It's a decent co-main event. It's for Australian card. It's good if you're an Australian fan because there's a lot of big name Australian lads out there. And yeah, Dan Hooker versus Benoit. Dan Hooker's coming off that loss over Armin Sarukian. He got dominated by Armin for 2 rounds. And Benoit's coming off a pretty very impressive win over Benoit Saint. Not what is Benoit Saint? He's coming off a very impressive win over Benio Dariush, where he knocked him out in what was it? I don't even know. It was like 20 seconds, but it was funny how he knocked him out because he's like got him in a little like clean. Like Benio was trying to get him and like drop, and he's like throwing to punch him in the side of the head, and bro just got freaking chinned. And that's what I tell you. Benio Dariush is the most cheating motherfucker in the UFC. Like that's how the way to beat Benio Dariush is you knock him out. The guy in his entire career, all of his losses have been all from knockout, which is really funny. But yeah, it's a decent co-main. Then we go in Rafael Fiziev versus Marco Rufi. This is also a pretty solid fight. I'm pretty satisfied. We see two strikers go at it. A kickboxer, both I think both are kickboxers and both are very entertaining. Fiziev has nasty leg combinations. His leg kicks are nasty, and then we see Rufi's flashy highlight reel striking. Like it's a banger of a fight. Rufi's gonna get a nice little uh striking challenge. He doesn't have to go against a grappler again. So this is pretty good. But honestly, what this card just lacks is just more depth on ranked fighting, ranked fighters. Like Tai Tuivasa versus Tyler Shinshera. Tai Tuivasa is on a 5-5. We all love Tai Tuivasa, but Tai Tuivasa is on a 5-5 losing streak right now. And I mean, not Tai Tu, Towson Shachera is coming off a loss over Derek Lewis. So it's a decent fight. It's to build Tyson. It's see if we can build Tyson Shachera a little bit more. If he can be more of a ranked fighter, get bigger names. And he's getting one of the fan favorite fighters in Tai Tuivasa. Who doesn't love Tai Tuivasa? But yeah, he's not hasn't looked good. He's just overweight. He just needs to lock in. He just needs to lock in, and I don't think he will. So we see. But like I said, this fight lacks depth. Killian Salkill is one of my favorite fighters right now. This guy's a freaking demon. The Redeemer for a reason. Some of the most flashy knockouts you could ever seen. His fight though is currently they're trying to look for a new fight for him right now because this guy got up. He's not fighting anymore. So we see who he's gonna be fighting next. But like I said, this is just like kind of lax. We got the boy Jimmy Crooks though. Like I don't know, kind of just like they. I wish this card would had just more depth. And we get into the fight nights now, and the fight nights are pretty decent. I don't. No one cares about this. This is Apex cards. No one cares. But Strickland versus Hernandez. That's always gonna be. I think that's gonna be a good fight. That should have been the co-main for UFC 326. Should have been the co-main, but it's not. Mr. T Jabs and Teebs versus one of the most entertaining middleweights out there in Fluffy. But I tell you this about Strickland. I think Strickland is low key a dark horse contender. Even though he's coming off a loss over DDP, man, I don't know. I think Strickland versus Hamzat would be a closer fight than people would think. I mean, people forget, man. People forget about Strickland's just super good on defense overall. He's constantly getting in range. Very good at just knowing when to strike. The problem with Strickland is his volume. Strickland's volume hasn't been there, especially his last fight. He lacked that. DP was just out striking him. He was just throwing more. Strickland was just like jabs and teeps, and that can work, and it has worked for him. But he just needs to have more volume. With Fluffy's just submitted Roman Dolidze, and Roman Dolidze, like, just he absolutely murdered Dolidze. That submission was violent. He has one of the most violent styles out there for grappling. He's just so entertaining. He's just a dog, man. Fluffy's a dog, and this fight is gonna be close. Like these are the I think the two best middleweights out there outside of Hamza. Like these are the two best middleweights. This I even know because if they're not gonna do Nazav Imavov, if Nazav doesn't want to fight Hamza, man, fuck him then. Um, this should get the next guy the title shot then. If Nazav doesn't want to fight Hamza, I think Nazav is the most deserving. But if that guy says he doesn't want to fight Hamza, then be my guest. No title shot for you. Let's see. Next one. Brandon, I don't know what happened there, but my webcam just shut off. But I was talking about Moreno versus Amamaye, and I'm gonna still talk about it. Let's get straight into it again. And Brandon Moreno is coming off he just got knocked out by Tatsuo my goat. But Moreno's not washed, guys. He was a bit of an early stoppage. That's why Moreno's, I think, coming back so quick because honestly, well, we don't really know how Moreno looked because the fight was like first round, man. He had him in a triangle for 5 minutes. Then Tatu Tyro did his thing in the second. But he's going against Asu Alamave. Alamave. I am butchering that. I know. Asu is one of the most boring fighters on flyweight. Like no one really cares. Uh, it's like it's such a weak. Not weak because Brandon Moreno is like everyone loves Brandon Moreno. But like we've seen this before with Moreno. Like no, I mean hosting in Mexico City is like very cool. But like they should have done Moreno as the and done Yair Rodriguez. But where the hell is Yair Rodriguez? No one knows. Um, like where has Yair Rodriguez been the past couple months, dude? I've heard nothing about Yair Rodriguez. Like I could get a rant about Yair how he ducks people inactive. Like I'm just tired of Yair. Yair should have been the main, and Moreno should be the co. I thought that's how it should have went, but he could still fight. Yair could still fight. He could be the co-main. I would be completely fine. But where's Yair Rodriguez? He should be fighting on the Mexico card. Should be, because I feel like Moreno is like the obvious choice. But like, man, like Yair Rodriguez is entertaining. That's why I'm like calling for Yair. But dude, this motherfucker just doesn't want to fight anyone. How are you in the UFC? Come on. I don't know. I got some Yair Rodriguez fans gonna probably say something, but I just had to say it. If there is a Yair Rodriguez fan out there. I would say Yair is very entertaining. I will say that though. But this is my problem. UFC 326, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira, a absolute banger of a main event. This is one of the best, if not the best, main event of the year. This is the main event I want to see the most. The problem is, yo, this card is dog shit. Not dog shit, but just mid all around. Oh yeah, like co-main event, Kyle Bralia versus Rainer D. Quitter. Come on, yeah, and I was a huge D Ritter fan, man. I was a huge D Ritter. I thought he would be fluffy. Yeah, I take those words fucking back, man, because what D Ritter did to me. How do you get slime gas out on Brandon Allen? Brandon Allen. Like, come on. It was so frustrating because Reina de Ritter generally is so talented with his grappling. It's just so talented. And we saw that in the first round with Brandon Allen. His grappling is extremely good. He has no gas tank. How do you go 5 rounds of Robert Whitaker? Then gas out to Brandon Allen. Makes no sense. Then Kyle Brown arguably got 50-45 by Nazimir Imdov. Like, and I like Kyle Brown, but dude, like that fight just you have to throw, man. He didn't have the heart to really show up in the fifth as well. And that's the problem. It's just frustrating sometimes. It's like I don't have any problem with these fighters. I'm frustrated because Rainer de Ritter, I was generally a huge fan of. I thought he was very entertaining. Like I liked Rainer de Ritter, and it's just so disappointing. He gassed out like that, and like you quit on the stool. It's just that I lose some respect for that. But it's a head toss of a fight, honestly. Just is. I don't know who, but we see then Money Mukana versus Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega is finally making the move to lightweight. About time. Had some huge weight cut issues, especially his last fight against Aljamain, looking like a zombie, and he got pieced up by Aljamain. He's going against Money Mukano. Well, he's Money Mukano coming off a loss over Benil Dariush. Uh, I don't. Money McConnell is so funny because like this guy has an interesting resume. Like this guy's coming off a loss over Benil Dariush and Islam, but then he's knocked out BSD. So we see this is also kind of like a head toss, but Ortega did beat Money McConnell last time. So I keep calling him. I gotta pronounce it by his real name, Renato Moicano. But man, who doesn't just love saying Money McConnell? Um, And Paulo Costa's already out for his fight against Bruno Ferreira. This fight is not till March. How the hell the injury must be that severe, man? Like I hope Paulo Costa can generally just get healthy because we just don't see Paulo Costa fight. So inactive, but he just can't stay healthy. It's just frustrating because he is just like he is good. Like his last fight showed, like he's talented. He still has it, but he just can't stay healthy. And Bruno Ferreira is coming off a good win over Marvin Vettori. I thought he should have been ranked. I'm surprised he's not. But just do the Roman Dolidze fight now with Bruno Ferreira. I've been saying it now. He called out Roman Dolidze. Like it's a good fight, man. I think it'd be a decent fight. It'd be good for the main card, even though this is a very weak card. And why the hell is Cody Garbrandt here on the main card? I swear to God, if he's on the main card, Look, I like Cody Garbrandt. He's not the same Cody Garbrandt we saw for my webcam again. Stay. He's not the same Cody Garbrandt we saw in the past. Just washed, man, washed. But it's just frustrating, man. Just frustrating with this because I hope they add some more banger fights. But the BMF cards, they got to do a better job at. There's no excuse we should like have a mid card of like this isn't, and I probably people like, "God, it's not a big call. Why are we complaining?" I think we could do better. That's why I think the card could be better because how do we get this and then let's go to UFC 324? Like oh my God, like how do we get this? Like all these good fights, and then and we look at the main card and how good the main card is. And I understand it's the big opening for Paramount. Like, you want to be like, oh, I didn't mean to click on it. You don't want to be like giving all your best fights always, but man, we have like the you can. I don't know if they're holding fights off from the White House card, but like UFC 326 is just disappointing for me. It just is. And also they announced the fight night. I don't think it's on here. Yeah, it's not. Okay. UFC London is gonna be Laurent Murphy versus Mazov Evolove. Just a another just a kind of a boring fight. You know, the two Maza fans are gonna be excited. And I like Laurent a decent amount, but like he has his moments of being boring. Like man, we saw the Laurent Murphy versus Josh Emmett fight, right? Like he got booed in the Apex. The five people in the Apex booed him. Like but I do think Laurent's very good, very talented. It's just kind of like I think that should be a co-main to something else. I don't know who because I can't think of any like very good British fighters off the top of my head right now. But I think they or it doesn't even have to be that. It could be just like a good name. They always have to like get a guy to represent. You could get a card that has all UK fighters on it, then have a really good main event. That's what you could do. But you know, it ain't gonna listen to me. But that's the end of this like huge yap session, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Well, great New Year's. I'm working on another video. It's got a pay-per-view tier list of all the pay-per-views that should be out in either tomorrow, next day. I'm still editing and working on it.